Yes, it says recording.
Cool. All right, so I want to talk about how you can monetize your channel before you hit 4,000 watch time hours. Alrighty. So I want you to put a one in the chat if you can relate to any of these things. So one, you've been, on YouTube for a while now, but you're not seeing a return on the investment of your time. You want to make money with your passion, but you're not quite sure how to do it. I mean, you're a therapist, so it's a little different for you. um, there are other ways to make money on YouTube other than getting monetized. Everyone tells you that you should start a business, but you're on the fence. You want to be a full-time content creator, and also that, you think that, your goals are like too far and you sometimes think about giving up.
Mhm. Several of these apply for sure.
Well, it's okay. There's definitely a way to make these things happen. And, with YouTube, you're more than likely, closer than you think, right?
Hmm.
So, for example, this is a channel that I started 2 years ago. I posted 6 videos and I gave up. I don't know why. Probably because it wasn't working fast enough for me or it was too much work. I often wonder how far I would have been if I kept posting on the channel. I did check on it like probably like a few weeks ago, and the views are still growing. Like as you can see, one of them has like 500 views and another one has like almost 600 views. So it's like,
Hmm.
they're still accumulating views over like the past 2 years. And I did start a new channel in August of 2023, and I've been consistently posting at least once a week, except for December when I posted for 20 days straight. And then last month, I got accepted into the YouTube partnership program. I'm not fully monetized yet, but I have made over $5,000 with YouTube, but not from being monetized. And then, so I want to share like my creative journey and then a few
Hmm.
ways that you can do that as well. So in this workshop, I'm going to be talking about my journey as a creative, four different revenue streams to like help you monetize your channel before you hit those 4,000 watch time hours, a roadmap to monetizing your channel. So what you're going to do to do these things, techniques to scale your business using video content. And then I'm going to talk about my new program that I have. So who am I? My name is Catara Lane. I'm a video editor, video strategist, film school graduate. I started my video production agency in 2020, and I have personally edited and produced 100 plus videos for clients for multiple different platforms. I also have a graphic designer, so we've done designs for people. And yeah, it's been great. And I've even created and edited 2 short documentaries that's gotten into film festivals within the last 3 years. And I have a podcast, which I don't use anymore because I'm on YouTube. So I don't exactly want to do a full income report, but it's very important to me to be like very transparent about my journey as a creative. Because when I first started being a creative, there was just like so much around it. My mom personally was so scared for me. She's like, this girl is going to be starving. She's going to be a starving artist. She is not going to be able to, make any type of money, very scared for me. So I want to share my journey about how I monetize my skills before I got on YouTube. So in 2019, I was busy being in college, literally could not sit down. So I was going to school full time while also working part time at after school program. Um, I was doing free photo shoots with a clothing brand. Uh, 5 out of 10, don't recommend. And then I got my first social media marketing client paying $150 a month. And while I was doing that, I was also creating a highlight covers Instagram page right when Instagram first released the feature. So I started getting orders on that Instagram page. So eventually I put up an Etsy shop and then put it on Pinterest. So then it just started, I guess the pen went viral. So I didn't have to do any more work with that. And it just was selling for like years and years. And this is from a $5 product. And I created the product for free, probably within like 2 hours, and it was just selling in the background. But, once I got paid to do that, it like shifted my mindset to, I have valuable skills that people will actually pay for. And also, I thought it was like really nice that I could work from my bed in my pajamas, as I was, traveling across the world to go to school and work and whatever else I was doing at the time. I also changed my business name at least 5 times this year. So this was year two, 2020. I was still in school full time while also working part time at the after school program because of COVID. And this was the year I was just like testing things out, seeing what I like to do, what I didn't like to do. So I tested an Amazon fulfillment business and I made a few $100s, but I didn't like it. It was too much work. But Etsy highlight covers, they were still selling. I did not touch it, but they were still selling in the background. Mind you, these were like $5 each. So that pen was still working for me in the background. I was doing photo shoots, creating websites. I got my first big editing check for $600 from a nonprofit that I was partnered with for my job. And I also invested into a social media management course as well as mentoring. And, that mentoring program is like really what changed everything for me. So year three, 2021, I had made $16,000. I was graduating this year, still working at the after school program. And, the Etsy highlight covers that I made still was selling in the background, making $95, and, I was really debating what I wanted to do because I was graduating and I'm like, I don't think I want to stay here. Love these kids, but I'm kind of burnt out because at this point I was working full time there, going to school full time, and then also what was I doing? All the other projects on the side. So I was burnt out. And I was telling my mentor, I'm like, okay, again, love these guys, but I am very tired right now. And also they was trying to make me take the COVID shot, which I really did not want to take. um, so I just remember talking to her and she was like, make a pros and cons list. So I did that. And the idea of quitting my job still really tripped me up because it was like, it was the idea of like the income instability part. I was like, this is really messing me up. Gave me really bad anxiety. And I even got another full-time offer from another program that we partner with because they just saw how passionate I was with the kids. So, ultimately, I decided that I was going to quit my job. I did join another program. It was called Claim Your Coin. And this lady was basically telling me I need to up my price. So I think the last week I was in the program or 2 weeks before the program ended, I got an $8,000 retainer deal with a large nonprofit. It was going to be split up into $2,000 for the next 4 months. And that was basically more than I was making at my job at the time. So I was like, you know what? Take this sign and I'm gonna leave. Um, and then year four. So this was like my first full-time years, did tons of weddings and events. I volunteered to become the vice president of an arts organization. That means I wasn't getting paid for that. Networked with over 100 business owners, released a video podcast, started live streaming, and burnt out at least 3 times probably, But I learned a lot this year. I learned about the power of networking. Through the nonprofit, I learned about the power of a team and helping people do what they love because it was an arts organization. So I was helping other creatives, sharing my knowledge with them. And then also the power of social media when you're consistent because my podcast, I challenged myself. I said I wanted to do 24 episodes for my podcast. Podcast seasons are usually they're usually 12 episodes per season, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna double it. I'm gonna make it 24. But with that, you have to promote the podcast, you have to create video clips, and you have to do all this other stuff, right? So, yeah. Year five, made 27,000. Again, not gonna lie, I was not happy about making the same thing again. But I also quit like a lot of things like last year. So I realized I had too many things. I had access to my energy. I was completely burnt out. I got diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and PTSD last September. Yeah, the big three, right? I was like, what? Completely, I didn't know. It was like, side note, I am feeling much better now and completely normal again. And that was not fun. I had to learn how to manage my emotions again. But I was really burnt out this year. I hit a goal that I was trying to make hit for like so long. So I hit the goal of like $5,000 per month in 1 month. I hit it once and then I almost hit it two more times, but I just did not like the way that I got there. The weddings, they were like completely burning me out, like 2, 3 weddings a weekend. And then like what was it? I had to travel to these weddings. Like it's just too much. So I knew something had to change. Because obviously what I wasn't doing wasn't working. Well, it was working, but not in the way that I wanted it to work. So, last spring I joined a business coaching program that also helped me with YouTube and gave me sort of like a new strategy. And then from August to January, I posted at least one video a week, except for in December when, I did 20 videos. And I also stopped doing my video podcasts. So yeah, Um, this year is like when I finally saw the fruits of my labor from my YouTube, and then all of my training started to click and connect. So it's only the beginning of March, but I've made almost $5,000 from YouTube without being monetized. And then I'm also a YouTube partner now. So that's like another stream of income. I probably have like 3 or 4 different streams of revenue from YouTube. And then, so here's a few lessons you can take away from my story. So one is you never know what you like until you try it. And if it didn't work out, that's completely fine because if you tried your hardest, pat yourself on the back because many people don't even get past that starting phase. Two, you have to invest to be the best. So I once had an art teacher tell me this before, and at first I was offended because I was a broke college student at the time. I'm like, what do you mean I have to invest? I don't have any money. But, I've now taken that and applied it to everything. So, you have to invest your time, energy, and resources and, sometimes money to get to where you want to be because obviously when you're first starting out, and especially if you're first generation everything like me, as in first content creator, first graduate, first digital entrepreneur, you're going to have to pay what I've been calling the ignorance tax. And it's very expensive because you really don't know any better. So you're going to have to figure it out. And I'm telling you from experience, it's a lot easier learning from someone who has done it already. And then number three is, it's okay to quit because sometimes we stay in places where we're not supposed to be for way longer. And, it's just okay to quit. So if you originally thought you wanted to do one thing and then you want to go in a different direction, it is completely fine. As long as no one is getting physically hurt in the process and you can do it morally, leave. um, Now I want to show you how you can monetize your channel before hitting 4,000 watch time hours and start to sort of build your creator business. Now before I dive in, I see we have a therapist in the room, so I'm going to be giving live examples as, I sort of like go through this workshop. So the first thing is affiliate income. This is probably the easiest thing that you're going to be able to add into your YouTube strategy. So you get paid to promote things that you already use. One of the popular ones is Amazon affiliates and the influencer program. You can also find them for like popular softwares and products that you use. And two other websites you can find to promote is ShareASale and ClickBake. So I know you're a therapist. So example you could use is like hear a lot of people promoting this. I don't know if you have to like sign up or something, but I think it's called BetterHelp, Better Therapy or something like that. Yeah, Better Therapy. So people promote that and I'm sure they get like money from that. Or maybe, I don't know, I know my therapist has like interesting things that he uses during our sessions, like the aroma diffuser and like he uses helpful workbooks and always gives me some sort of worksheet to work on. So that's a great example of things that maybe you could promote in your YouTube videos to get that affiliate income. And this is a great way to, flex your selling muscles because you don't have to create a website for this. These are other people's products. So you're just basically using your own affiliates program. Um, but yeah, the Amazon affiliates and the influencer programs is two separate programs. So with Amazon affiliates, I don't believe you have any requirements to get into that. But with Amazon influencer, it's two separate programs. And the Amazon influencer is when you get to have your own storefront and you're able to also do off-site commissions or on-site commissions. So you create content in their app and you don't even have to show your face and you make content like that. So yeah, it's two different ways. And with the on-site commissions that they have, you actually have to apply within apply. So once you get accepted to be the influencer, you have to apply again to be able to get that. And you have to, do like 3 videos to get in and they have to manually accept it. Whereas the influencer program, I just believe they're looking for a certain amount of followers, which they don't tell you what the number is. The next one is memberships and subscriptions. So the membership program that I joined was actually from a nonprofit that offered business mentorship with a one-time fee. So I still talk to my mentor to this day. And you set the rate for your membership and can do whatever you want with it. So you can build your own community of like-minded people or of people who want more access to you. I've seen subscriptions where people drop daily text messages of things you can clean and unclutter your space, as we can see on the side. So $5 a month. YouTube also has this option when you become a partner, but they take 30% of your money. So if you build your own, you can keep more of your money. You can host your group in Facebook groups, school, or you can just use email to deliver the content. The next one is courses, less intensive than a membership, but requires more work on the front end. So you just have to record everything, do all that stuff, in the front end. So, but you make the product once and you sell it over and over again and update it as you please. You can use platforms like Teachable, Udemy, or Skillshare to host your course content. You can also promote your courses through your YouTube channel by creating teaser videos, mentioning the course in your videos, and linking the course in the video description. When I originally launched my course, I got absolutely no bites on it. Nobody got it. But then like a few months later, that's when people started to buy it. And it was because I knew this was something that my audience needed. So I just went ahead and created the course, even if nobody got it when I first built it. But it was there when the time came for them to actually start buying it. And then the last thing is services and consulting. So if you're making content about a specific niche, you're probably a few steps ahead of other people who don't know all the information at all. So for example, my niche is video content, but I originally got on YouTube to get more clients, which I have been successful at, but you can charge higher rates for people to get direct access to you. Make sure you can deliver on what you promise or let people know that you're just starting this venture out so they can adjust their expectations. And for this, it's best to have like a website or a booking link people can use to book you. Wix or Calendly is great places to start. That's what I started with. I love those websites. So, I just named 4, but there are probably like dozens of other ways. There are dozens of other ways that you can monetize that I haven't mentioned. It just depends on what you want to do and what you have the time for. Um, so for example, if you're thinking of doing affiliates, what are you going to promote? And, will you try multiple affiliate programs or just one? Basically, make sure to do some research to see who else does what you're trying to do and see if someone already offers that service and also how they're going to promote it. Because sometimes we have ideas and then, nobody else is doing it. And it's probably a reason why nobody else is doing it. One reason may be because it's an untapped market, and another reason why anyone might not be promoting it is because they don't need to, and it's not a market that's, easily promoted. So the first thing is to start thinking of your product or service. The second thing is to find what software you're going to need to be successful in whatever you're doing. So are you going to need a booking page, website builder, payment processor, course platform? Will you need to pay for it, or is the free version enough? If you're a tech adverse person, don't try to go for the most complicated, expensive platforms. Start small because, going for the complicated expensive platforms when you don't even know how to work it. It's only going to add more friction between what you're trying to do. And you might get frustrated. Step 3, create your pricing strategy. So this doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to start high with your prices if you don't want to either. You know, if you're just starting, then start small and then gradually raise your prices as you get more experience and testimonials. Think about who you're selling to and what they're willing to spend. For example, a doctor would have a bigger budget than a teenager. Um, Test it out on your trusted family members and friends first to see if that helps. But yeah. And then step 4, create your product and then set an official launch date. Now that you have your idea, your pricing, your platform, now it's time to actually start creating the actual thing that you're going to do if it's not an affiliate. So create an outline for what you're going to talk about. Make sure you give yourself enough wiggle room to where it's a reasonable time frame to be launching this thing. When I first launched my video editing course, I gave myself almost 2 months to get everything ready. And then nobody still didn't buy it, which was completely fine. But you know, while you're getting ready, make sure to let your audience know what you're working on and also start collecting their emails to add to your email newsletter or wait list. You know, this is something I wish I started doing earlier, was collecting people's emails. That is very important because then you have direct access to them outside of social media and you're just not relying for them to see your post or whatever. And then number 5, keep track of how much you're spending. You can use a Google Doc, Excel spreadsheet, put in your notes. I am not a tax professional, but this is important because during tax time, you can write off all of these as business expenses. If you have the intent of to start a side hustle or business, you can write it off. Remember that once you start making $600 in a side hustle, the United States considers it as a business. And this is also when these platforms such as PayPal, Cash App, and such start reporting your income to the IRS. So again, not a tax professional, but my mom does my taxes. She's a tax preparer. And, you know, these are just some of the tips that I have picked up. Number 5, create your website or your storefront. There are so many options out there, but make sure it's easy for you to navigate for you, and also make sure it's easy to navigate for your customer. Again, you don't have to get the most expensive, complicated platform when you're just starting out. You just need something to get the job done. Once you start bringing in more funds, you can begin to update it, transfer things over, and hire people. Number 6, start to market your project or your product. So on YouTube, you have so many options to do this. You can add it in your bio area. You can add it in the description box. You can go live to talk about it. The best thing about YouTube is your content has the longest shelf life on that platform. So whereas other platforms, your content only gets shown for 24 to 48 hours, on YouTube, your contents get promoted for a full 8 days. And then after that, your content can still be found through suggested videos, SEO, and so many other things. And it will continue to get found for years to come. Whereas those other platforms, content gets buried very fast. It may have the potential to pop off after months, but highly unlikely. So YouTube, I believe, is the best place to do this. So how you're going to make money, this is like 6 steps. So step 1, pick your product or your service that you're going to promote. 2, make content on YouTube surrounding this topic and expand to other platforms by repurposing your content. So from one YouTube video, you can create a blog, a newsletter, 5 reels, some slide posts, and then post them all to your other channels. You can even create reels. Like there's so many different ways you can repurpose one YouTube videos. Do you have to do this? Absolutely not. Does it help? Yes, more than you can imagine. And then also 3, come up with a consistent schedule, the script, create, post, and then schedule your content. And consistency is important on YouTube because it's a long-term game, meaning you don't really see results instantly. It takes months and months, sometimes even years, if you don't really have the help that you need. But the more content you put out, the more eyes you and the better chance someone has to come into your YouTube content sort of like ecosystem. And then number 4, review your analytics to see what is performing the best and getting the most clicks to your website and page. And then, once you see what's working, you can double down and repeat. So I wanted to also talk about the real truth about building a personal brand that, no one really talks about. They just sort of talk about just post video content, just post it, post it, post it. But they don't really talk about the journey that you'll have to go through when you're doing this. So number one, if you don't already have an audience, you're gonna have to build and nurture one. That's not very easy unless you want to dump paid money into like paid ads. There's no shortcut to this. You're gonna have to just testing things out, stick to a consistent schedule, and then show up until something works. It usually takes 3 to 6 months to see results with video. If you don't see results within that time frame, you should probably switch up what you're doing because something's not working. The key to this is to look at your analytics. And if you don't have any, that means probably you probably need to do more to have more data to analyze. And then also, it's not enough to educate. You also have to connect. So you can usually do this through documenting your journey and storytelling. No one can relate to someone who pretends like everything is absolutely perfect. And, emotional storytelling builds like an emotional connection with your audience and gives them something to root for. So it's okay to be seen trying. Now, this is how most of your favorite full-time creators monetize their platform. They do it by building an audience and selling something else to them. Now, although it's another great source of income, your favorite creators, they don't rely on YouTube AdSense. They have other things going on. And if they do rely on YouTube AdSense, they probably get burned out really fast. So I hope you found this helpful. Of course, there's a lot more to this. And, I actually created a program to help with this. If it's all right, would you like to hear about it? And, can I share that with you today? Yeah. All right. Cool. So I created the Paid Creator Collective membership. So I got inspired to create this program because of all the questions that I get on my live streams. And, I was thinking there's no way I can really go into depth the way I want to on some of these topics on the channel because my channel is not necessarily for business advice. It's for video and video marketing. So I've been hearing so many stories of people getting scammed out of their money, having trouble hiring out the tasks of helping people create YouTube channels, and basically not being able to control their creative journey because they don't know how. So I have built, every single video, created every single project that I put out. And, I wanted to be able to help others be able to have that same autonomy over their journey. So this is what you see. You see the engaged audience, full-time creators, and then lots of subscribers, awesome videos, confidence. Yeah. What you don't see is the years of them trying to figure it out, the rejection they had to deal with, the mental health issues that most of them have. Trust me, they have, because I've talked to some of them. The years of them not making money, the disappointment that they had to face, imposter syndrome that they deal with on a daily basis, frequent loneliness, and then all the risks that they took. So I'm creating a monthly membership that helps struggling YouTube creators make money from their craft. But here's the thing, this is my first time creating something like this. And, I wanted to make sure there was enough interest before I move forward. So I'm going to say what I'm planning to do inside the membership program. And if someone is interested, then we can move forward. So I don't want to overwhelm anyone with information. I also want to make sure like every section has quality information, and I don't want to rush this. So for the next 6 months, there will be a new section taught live the first week of the month, followed by a Q&A session the next week, a monthly virtual co-working session to work on something for your creator business, and then a quarterly virtual networking meeting. So the monthly Q&A sessions will be held on Zoom. I'll be there to answer any of your questions about your creator business, your YouTube channel, or any other video marketing questions. And since this is a monthly occurrence, I will start to know what you're working on pretty well. The monthly co-working session. So this will be a dedicated hour during the month to quietly work on whatever you want alongside your other member mates. The quarterly virtual networking meeting. So I want people to get used to saying what they do and talking to other people about it. I've joined so many groups in the past, and there were so many dope people in these groups, but I couldn't personally get to know them unless I reached out. And I have met some of my most aligned friends, business partners, and people that I connect to and look up to through networking on the internet. So my hope is that, you meet your new creator bestie, business partner, or client in the virtual networking meeting. The membership community will be held inside of Geneva, which has a desktop and a mobile version for your phone. It's a mixture of like Slack and Discord. So we will be able to have specific chats, message each other, see upcoming events, host audio chats, and there's a lot of things you can do on this app. I really love it. We used it for the nonprofit that I volunteered for, and we really created like a really large community inside of there. Now to the content. These are lessons I plan on teaching in the next 6 months. So month 1 is the money making plan. So this month we're gonna get clear on who you're talking to and make a plan on how you're gonna monetize your audience. So whether you want to release a product, find some affiliates, maybe you just want to get paid by YouTube. We're gonna make a plan on how you're gonna do that. In month 2, we're gonna go into how to create the digital products and websites. So creating a digital product on Canva, creating a website. If enough people are interested, I'll do a Wix building masterclass. Wix is the platform that I started on, and I think it's pretty much everything that you need to get started. Month 3, this month, we're going to talk about YouTube. So I'm going to do a whole YouTube masterclass where I put all the information I knew into one whole course. So I'm going to go over scripting, filming, editing, SEO, uploading, all the things and such. So basically all the things that I learned in my course, I'm gonna teach you guys. Month 4, Amazon Affiliates Masterclass. So how to set up your storefront, how to get accepted into on-site commissions. I'm gonna be sharing the videos that I used to get accepted into there and sort of like the research that I've done before I actually started the Amazon program. But I just started, so I need to give it a few months for it to actually, so I can give you guys some information on it. And then month 5 is email marketing. So building an email list, what emails to send, email templates. We're going to go through all of that in month 5. Month 6, social media marketing. So how to use each platform, how to promote which platform will be best for you, because you do not have to be on every single last one of them. You should just pick 1 or 2 aside from YouTube to promote on. And keep in mind, this content will be created live every month. And since I want to make this the best program, I'm also like very susceptible to changes. So if everyone wants to learn about email marketing for Amazon, then we are switching to email marketing that month. And as a founding member, you will be able to have a say and build and help build what gets created month to month. So I created this program because I wanted a way to help fellow creatives on a large but affordable scale. So how much is all of this going to cost exactly? So my coach told me that this is definitely a $97 a month course, but I really felt called to do this and offer it at an affordable price because I remember when I first started, I did not have a lot of funds to be spending on what I was doing. So, if you join today, you will lock in the founder members price for as long as you stay. So that means as long as you don't leave, the price will remain the same. And the total value of this far exceeds what I'm offering it for. I know I've personally paid $500 to $1,000 for each networking group that I've joined. I've paid over $1,000, probably more, honestly, if you count that college education for social media classes. And I've paid over $8,000 for YouTube and business coaching. So, I'm going to be taking everything that I learned and sharing it all with you in this program. So today's price is $27 per month or $120 for 6 months. So I want you to ask yourself these 4 questions before purchasing this membership. So if all this did was help you earn some extra money from what you're doing on YouTube, 2, save you some money. Hiring freelancers and such can be very expensive when starting out, especially when you don't know what you're doing. I always advocate you should at least try to learn every aspect of what you're doing so you can appreciate and value when someone else does it for you. And I also don't think it's a good idea to leave that completely in someone else's hand, because when they decide to leave or up their rates, you're still going to be stuck with whatever you outsource to them. So I have created, every website, scripted it, edited it, every single video. podcast and reel, and I create most of my social media graphics. So every time I outsource to somebody, I know exactly what they're doing. I know whether they know what they're talking about or not. And I know exactly what to tell them when I'm outsourcing it to them because I've done it before. And it's also going to save you time. So this journey that you are on has something that I like to call again the ignorance tax. So what that basically means is you're going to have to pay for what you don't know, whether that be for financially, energetically, or with your time. And sometimes we spend a longer amount of times with things because we don't understand them when we could have just paid somebody to help us. So I am today where I am because every time I felt stuck, I reached out for help. And then also give you community. So if all this did was give you community that understood what you were doing and supported you, would the price be worth it? Because I don't know about y'all, but my family and half of my friends do not know what to be talking about half the time. They're just happy that I'm happy and they offer their moral support. But it's a different type of support when you're in a community that you can grow with, that, they know exactly what you're working on, can root for you and support you. And you will also get these bonuses. So before we start the live instruction, these ebooks will already be in your portal ready to dive in. So the first one is Ultimate Business Guide ebook. So this gives you a place to put all your business information in. I created this a few years ago when I was helping small businesses, and yeah, they really loved it. So you get also a business checklist to get clear on who you're serve and what your goals are to help keep you motivated. You get buyer persona pages to get clear on who you're selling to, content plan, ideas, and even a hashtag strategy. The website checklist, and there's a few other things in there, but I can't remember right now. The second bonus is the Scaling with Video ebook. I created this a few months ago. It's the 28-page guide that shows you how the tools to start generating leads and converting them to sales with video. So it goes over planning, scripting, editing, and distributing your videos in text form, but I will be going over this basically again in the YouTube masterclass in a few months, but wanted to give you guys something to get started. So again, total value far exceeds what I'm offering it for. It's probably over 10,000, honestly, but today's price is going to be $27 per month or $120 for the first 6 months. So here is the first 2 months schedule. So starting on March 12th, we're going to go over our money making plan lesson. March 19th, live Q&A. March 26th is their co-working day. And then March 2nd, we're going to be creating a digital product. April 9th, live Q&A. April 16th, we're going to have our first members networking event. And then April 30th is going to be the second co-worker event. And then pretty much the other months will follow a schedule similar to that. So to join now, you can go to www.clxcontent.com/paid creator. And you can join now to become a founders member. And since this is my first time doing this and I want to work out the kinks and such, I will be closing enrollment at the end of next week, and it will not be open again for at least another 2 or 3 months because I want to specifically work with a small group of people. And, I want my attention to be on them at least for the first 2 months while I work out the kinks. So yeah, if you are on YouTube, then you can find the link in the description box. And if you are catching the replay through the email, you can click on the link that's there. So yeah, do you have any questions?